Hello and welcome to Healing Through the Emotional Spectrum. Now this video is about an introduction to understanding how our vibrations work, the impact of negative emotions and toxic energies on our natural state, and really trying to help you to understand visually just what's going on. This is the emotional guidance scale, the spectrum here. It comes from the works of Abraham Hicks, and there's a lot of different references to it over the years. But I really struggled to understand it until I could kind of see what was going on visually. So that's why I've got my trusty balloon and a few other bits and pieces that we're going to go through to actually really help you to understand what your emotions are, how they're having an impact on your body and your life, and why it is so important to clear out some of the crap that's buried within. Now the emotional guidance scale, and I've got you'll be able to download this as a PDF and a few other versions of it. What it is comes from the understanding, which we've now proven with quantum physics, that we are not solid. We are in fact all vibrating particles moving very, very fast. Now do not test this by running in front of a truck. But technically, at the minute detail level, we are not solid. And we are made up of energy. Now, our energy vibrates at different speeds. So the slower and denser the vibration, the more solid the matter. So this is all the vibration, but it's quite solid. Very, very slow, it's not moving. And then we have the higher the vibration, the more alive and flexible the matter. So my plant, for example, or air and gas is a very, very high vibration. As humans, we exist within a range, within a spectrum of this vibration. Any higher and we fall apart. So, you know, I like to think when they talk about enlightenment and we talk about ascension, all that means is getting into the higher states of vibration, which is joy, appreciation, love, and gratitude, those very, very high vibrations. So much so that our solid matter becomes not solid anymore. It disappears, I guess, and we vibrate away from this physical existence. Then we have the lowest end of the spectrum. Now, down that level, any more solid and we die. We physically, our bodies will stop flowing, our bodies will stop functioning. Now, from a health point of view, this is where we have tumors, where we have illness and dis-ease in our body. So that's why it is critical to start clearing out these emotions. So there'll be lots of different videos where I'll go into details about the spectrum itself. But this one, I just wanted to show you how this works. So if you know a baby, you know that most babies are pure joy. Now we have gotten lots more evidence nowadays that what's going on inside the womb while mum is pregnant, even while mum's a teenager, is impacting on our unborn children. So but let's take it as a general rule. Most babies, when you look at them, they're happy, they're giggly, they're bubbly, they're a joyous energy, they're a big smile, lots of fun to be around, unless their environment changes that. So our natural state, you look at children, they want to go, they want to play, they want to have fun, they're friends with everybody, you know, everyone is their best friend instantly. And then we start to slow down. As adults, we become very serious and, you know, we've got to follow the right rules and yeah. So basically, I like to think of it that we're born with all of this natural energy, and our natural state at the top of the spectrum is to vibrate really high. So helium gas is one of the highest vibrating matters that we know. This is my science geek coming out here, that we know. So it vibrates really, really fast. Against the air, it's lighter than air, or it vibrates faster than air, so it actually will float. So this is how we're all meant to be. Our life is meant to be lived happy and joyous and you know, floating away and really, really excited. But think about it. You ever seen a balloon and it gets out of control? You know, it moves so fast and so rapidly. You look at kids when they're running around and they get really excited and they bump into things and they hit each other and they're spinning around doing dizzy wizzies. When they're that excited and they're full of joy and excitement and appreciation, nothing can stop them. They are so energetic, but then they bump into things. So then we learn to slow this down. Because what happens for most of us in society, when we're born with this much love and this much excitement and this much energy, But we're a little kid and mum and dad are busy, and you know, family's got other kids to look after or jobs to go to, or you just want to run and play because the sun shines out. Mum's like, no, you've got to go to school. So the rules start to come in. We learn these little bits of controlling this. But it's like a sports car. Most of us learn control through going slow. We're not taught how to drive it fast. We're not taught how to navigate at that speed and know our edges so we don't bump into things. We're just told, stop, don't run in the hallways, don't go so fast, you know, don't be so passionate, just tone it down a bit. And I'm sure you've all heard this. So what happens is something will happen in our life and we're taught, we experience a moment of fear, for example. So something will happen and it scares us. You know, kids, loud noises. We're all born with a fear of loud noises. We're all born with a fear of falling. So it's very easy to become afraid as a child. Now, our humans, and I've broken these down into the specific classes. We are all have a survival emotions of anger, sadness, and fear. We are all born with these cans, I guess, of emotions within us. They are physical survival. We must have fear as a physical survival instinct because it teaches us not to run and jump off the edge of a cliff. It teaches us to stay away from the saber-toothed tiger, okay? Fear, the purpose of fear is that says something is coming and I must prepare. It is a natural instinct. It is our primal instinct of survival. So we're born with this beautiful vibration with our helium balloons and this beautiful vibration, and then these are all the things inside of fear. Then what happens is this is attached to that high vibration, okay? So we're born all this high vibration, we've got all of this energy, but we have a little can attached to it. It's a can of fear. And then we go through life and we start putting things into that can and it starts to bring our balloon down. We have we have a moment where our boundaries are crossed, where we're violated, we get angry, we get frustrated. As children especially, we've got all of those emotions. You know, at the age of 2, little boys especially have the most testosterone in their body at the age of 2 that they will have in their whole life. It's this percentage thing, crazy. That's where the terrible twos come from. So we know what we want, we don't know how to get it, and we feel that our boundaries have been crossed. And that's all the purpose of anger, is to say, whoa, that's a cross of my boundary. That's a violation of my boundary. That's not okay with me anymore. So we've got this can and we start to put things in it. So then we have anger and it starts to weigh us down even more. So what used to be really light, we now have these other things that are going on for us. And we have sadness as well. We're born with these attached. Now, when I did this the first time, I had a much bigger helium balloon, but it didn't fit in the camera. So you'll have to understand. The more we fill these up, the heavier our balloon is. So as we're going down the spectrum, we're no longer vibrating really high at joy and appreciation. We've got all of these things down here. So we've got everything that's, you know, boredom is heavy. It's a bit stuck. It's a bit slower. There's a less energy in it. We've got disappointments. We've got worries. We've got guilt, shame, hurt. We've got all the way down through anger. Now we've got down to rage or resentment. We've got jealousy. And the bottom 2 are some of the most difficult to heal. That's our insecurity, guilt and unworthiness, but also our fear, grief, our depression, because these are very entangled emotions. Grief has anger, sadness, fear, denial, apathy, all of that built into it. And it's so heavy. And people can get stuck. And this is where we can end up becoming solid. Powerlessness, we become solid. We can have tumors in our body. This is where the cancers come, the gangrenes, the injuries, the damage that we can cause to our body because we are storing these emotions. They're just energy. It's like a snag in the river. The river can't flow if it gets blocked with this energy. All right? So we have this beautiful light-filled balloon, but it's weighed down with all of this stuff, especially if we're carrying things. And each of these, attack of the balloon, cans of emotions, I call them, you'll see there's a video further on about each of them broken down into detail. But we have an experience in life and we just store it. So as a child, someone stole your favorite toy and you get really angry and you put it in the can and then we stuff a lid on it and we push it down. And if you've ever pushed a beach ball underwater, we go through life and we're like, we're going to push it down. Don't talk about those emotions, push it down. Don't talk about those emotions, push it down. You know, boys aren't allowed to cry, push it down. Girls aren't allowed to be angry, push it down. You know, be very staunch and stoic and don't show emotions in the workplace. Push it, push it, push it. But if you've ever pushed a beach ball underwater, there is just as much force coming back. The further we try and push it down, the more energy is coming back up at us, ready to be released. So all of this energy is still sitting there. It hasn't gone away. It's just being pulled down, weighed down, pushed down. But it's going to push back against us. So what it means is we've got a volcano there, ready to erupt in some way. And it will either break us physically, causing illness and disease, or we're going to explode at someone. It's going to come out of us. This is where where you can go for years in a relationship and then, you know, with all the big stuff and then lose your crap at them because they left the lid off the toothpaste. Unfortunately, on a big scale, this is why we are seeing the high school massacres. This is why we are seeing the 40-year marriage and the husband comes home and shoots the whole family. It's horrible. But this is what's going on. And we need to talk about this. As a society, we need to understand that suppressing this shit is not good anymore. We have to heal it. We have to face it. We have to get it out. We have to empty out these cans. We have to get out all the emotions. We have to let it go from our balloons so that we can rise again. Okay? So this is what I wanted you to understand visually. Imagine yourself, you are the balloon. Your natural state, your human flowing energy wants to live like this. Okay? Anything less than a high vibration is denying who we are meant to be, denying how we are meant to be, denying the human experience we are meant to have. Now, the challenge, I think, is a challenge with the emotional spectrum and why so many of us get stuck, get stagnant and have all of this deep shames and angers and stuff below, is that there's 22 levels of emotion on the original spectrum. 22, and I'd say that's about accurate, at least when you measure the vibrating particles, it's around 22 different levels. Only 7 of them are what we would consider to be positive emotions. 7. And in a society that is fixated on make sure we stay positive, and if you haven't got something nice to say, don't say it at all, and nobody cares about your problems, there's starving children in Africa. We're only allowed to talk about 7 of them. So that means all the rest of them are just getting buried deeper and deeper, dragging our balloons down, dragging us to the depths of explosion, right? I'm going to go into more detail about this scale and going through all of this, but I just want you to remember, this journey, healing through the emotional spectrum, is about letting go of all the crap, all the tethers, all of the anchors tied to your hot air balloon. Don't know if you've ever been hot air ballooning. I haven't yet. It's my lifelong dream, one of them. But they tether the balloon to the ground first. They stake it to the ground first before they fill it with gas, before they fill it with hot air. Once the balloon lifts and is filled with hot air, it's lifted. The basket is even lifted slightly off the ground, but it is still tied to the ground. It can't go anywhere until they go back and pull the stakes out. And this is what we're going to do. So many of us are taught to think positively, do affirmations and read a positive book or play positive music. All we're doing is we're taking the weighted balloon and trying to lift it. So we're constantly equally pulling it down and trying to pull it back up. So we're always trying to fight against ourselves. If you imagine it like the hot air balloon, we know the balloon's up, the hot air's going in it, we're not going anywhere. Put more hot air into it. well, that's not going to help. Something will break. If you don't go and release the tethers, either the rope's going to break, the balloon's going to break, you're going to run out of gas. And let's face it, how many times do we run out of gas? We run out of energy. There's not enough coffee, chocolate, you know, the distractions we use, I remember back in my day doing one of my jobs, and we had a particular playlist, and as long as I had the playlist on, it was fine. But if the internet didn't work, I was fucked. My balloon would sink. I couldn't get myself positive again. So there's two ways to balance the scale. If you've got a whole bunch of crap on one scale, it's going to be like this. You can either balance it out with positivity on this scale, or just take this off. Now you've got a balanced scale. So this whole journey is about taking these off, getting rid of. We're going to go down, we're going to face some of the heavy stuff, because it's not a bad emotion. Every single emotion is our body's way of telling us something. It is simply a snag in our energy. This course, this program is full of tools, from spiritual, mental, emotional and physical tools, to clean out our energy, to clean out our bodies, so that we can get rid of this deep toxicity and live in these 7 at the top. The hopefulness, the optimism, the positive expectation and belief, the passion, the eagerness for life, the zest, the joy, the appreciation and the gratitude. So I trust this has been useful. We're going to refer to our balloons probably quite a lot, our hot air balloons. I just wanted you to understand what I'm talking about when you get to the other videos. If you have any questions, please let me know. I trust this is useful. Leave some comments down below. Let me know that you get it. Let me know if you want more clarity, and enjoy the working through this program. Everything in here is what I use to begin my healing. When I finally understood this, I realized it's not complex, it's not miraculous for healing. It is simply finding the anchors, finding the things that are still tying me to the ground, and systematically letting them go so that I can fly. And that's what I do now, and that is what I want for you. So enjoy. Until we speak again, take care of you, take care of others, and take care of the greater good. Bye for now.